Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are crafting with these $1 wooden planks that you can find at the Dollar Tree. I ended up ordering a ton off of the website because they have so many good uses. They're really nice quality and perfect for crafting. But before we get on into the crafts, I do want to give a huge thanks to Avis Manor for sponsoring today's video. Avis Manor is a free-to-download mystery game which follows the story of Ava Mendez. She is a mystery writer whose life gets flipped upside down whenever a relative mysteriously disappears and leaves her with his entire estate. This game is so much fun. You actually get to play levels of solitaire tri-peaks to earn stars, to progress the story and renovation, and you get to restore and redecorate this estate, expressing your own personal style. Avis Manor is a fun game that anyone can enjoy. It's perfect for like winding down for the day when you're laying in bed playing it, or just taking a short break. I'm always taking breaks after crafting so much. So I love this game. While it's still challenging enough to keep you sharp, but it is fun and not overwhelming. And it has you like dying to play the next round to keep upgrading this estate and discovering new things. I have always loved playing solitaire, but this takes it to a whole new level. It's so much fun getting to follow along the storyline and getting creative exploring interior design and finding inspiration. Avis Manor is free to download using my link below, so go check that out. But let's go ahead and jump on into these DIYs using these wooden planks. So to start this, I'm going to share with you how you can make a sign out of an individual plank, but we are going to be building some larger signs later on in the video, so stay tuned for that. They turned out so beautiful. But for this sign, I wanted it to kind of have like a stained effect, so using some tan paint, or this is kind of like a beige color, I just lightly went over the board and then sanded that down. And then going back to my calendars, I found this gorgeous green truck that I didn't get to use in my last video, so I'm cutting that out and putting it on the board. If you haven't seen my recent DIY calendar video, be sure to check that out. But I am using one of Dollar Tree's calendars, cutting out this green truck. I started to cut out the pumpkins and decided I would add my own fun little wood pumpkins from Dollar Tree. So I decided to glue this down with a glue stick, attach it to the board, and then Mod Podge over the top. To dress up this sign, I am tying some jute twine on both ends just to give it a little bit more texture on this board, and I just knot that and then wrap it around a few times and then hot glue that in the back. I didn't have any plain small pumpkins, so I'm using these like Halloween jack-o'-lanterns, which they work perfect. They are on little clothespins, so I just pulled that off and then I was able to paint these like plain little pumpkins. So I went with orange and then took some brown paint to paint the stem and then mixed it in with a little bit of orange to add in some of the texture to really give this the shape of the pumpkins. I also think that white pumpkins would have been really cute in the back, but I just stacked up these orange ones, tied a little jute twine bow and attached that to the back, but I think this turned out really cute. Dollar Tree has out like these large word signs which are so beautiful, but they're so fragile. So to put these on like something sturdier that you can actually display, using 3 of these wooden planks, I put them together and then using a couple of yard stakes that came off of like previous Dollar Tree items, but you also can use paint sticks. I decided to cut those down and attach these 3 boards together, and then I ended up leaving a little crack in between each one so this actually looks like a pallet sign. If you have extra time, I would recommend using wood glue just to make sure these have a super strong hold. I ended up using hot glue just to save some time, but I probably will go back and kind of put some staples in mine or attach wood glue on the edges. I wanted to prep the word sign, so I did take some wood filler and fill in the little holes at the top, so this will look like it's actually just cut out and not a sign. And then using some stain that I recently picked up, this is like a gray color, I painted the sign, and then I will show you another version. So I'm going to be making like a cooler tone one with the gray, and then I have another fun colored stain that has more warm wood tones that I'll show you how it turned out next. This stain is a little tricky. Some of the boards feel more sealed than others, so some of them the stain actually shows up, and then some of them it's kind of just too shiny and doesn't take the stain. But for these, they stained really nicely, and then I took the thankful and blessed sign and I kind of dry brushed over it with a lot of white paint, making sure I do cover up the like wood filler that was on there, but other than that I'm kind of making it look feathered. And then I thought it would be fun to make that little vine at the bottom really pop off of this and also add a little bit of color to this sign, so I did pick out my moss green paint. And at first I thought I would do the same thing and kind of dry brush over it, make it look feathered, but then I loved how it looked whenever it was solid, so ended up completely filling this in. And then I just hot glued this down in place, and I feel like this is such a higher end nice looking sign. This is actually something you would find at like a craft show or like store-bought. I love how this looks. I feel like the thankful and blessed really just pops off of there. I picked out any extra hot glue with my little Cricut tool, but this is my favorite project. And then as promised, I wanted to share this in a different color. So this stain was called Weathered Oak, and it just had more of like a warm tone, like I said, but doing the same thing for the Harvest Wishes. I feel like that is such a cute little saying, and it had this little leaf beside of it. I did go for orange. I thought it would be fun to kind of add in the brighter color. I started by dry brushing over it, but just to get a little bit of extra texture, I did kind of rub in some white paint. Also hot glue that down, and once again make such a beautiful, easy to make sign, but these are such a good size and really fun to decorate with. I was dying to create some type of like a large wooden box out of this. I thought it would be really fun to make like a wooden crate or some type of big box like this that I could like stack pumpkins in. So this turned out so beautiful. I was worried about it holding together with hot glue. Once again, if you have the time, go ahead and use some real wood glue. That would have like a long-term hold. But for me right now, this is working, and I did put in the tower blocks just to kind of use as a brace to hold the edges together and give it more surface area. So just doing this on all four sides until I have like a solid piece. And then since I am wanting to add in pumpkins, I decided to give it a bottom. So I glued 2 planks together, and then once again, just kind of attaching that with the same tower blocks. So whenever you are assembling this box, try to pay attention and put the rough sides out. That's what sucks up the stain way better. And but you can see here, like this side is, they just give it like a shiny finish, and it's not taking the stain. That was completely fine. I ended up fixing it using some of the Waverly antique wax and kind of going over that. But I did, while I had went ahead and kind of applied it to the box, I went ahead and just put it all over so that the corners and edges would go ahead and soak that in. And then I'm going to be putting this adorable little sign on the front. I think this is so pretty. This Autumn Acres pumpkin patch. I picked this up from Hobby Lobby for only a few dollars, and I actually bought like the full size sign last year, so I think this is a really cute mini version. And then I cut the string off, and then like I say, after adding in the antique wax, I'll glue that on the front. kind of dry brushing back and forth gives it even more of a wood effect, and I love how it darkened it up. And then hot gluing the sign on there just looks really pretty. It looks like it has a label, but then I thought it would be really fun to add in some rope handles on both sides. So I am taking my drill, drilling 4 holes towards the top of this box, and then kind of threading in my rope and tying knots on the inside. It turned out more solid than I thought it would, but so beautiful. I loved mixing all types of pumpkins in here, and just looks really fun. I even used it in my intro in this video. And then for the last project in this video, I wanted to share with you how you can make a super simple tray or riser. I've made a ton of these on my channel, so I wanted this one to be a little bit unique. So I picked up these little decor pieces that had the concrete bottoms. So I wanted to put them to good use, and I thought that would be a really fun, unique like feet for this little tray or little stands. So I ended up whitewashing over the board with white paint, and then I sanded the edges to make sure that it looked nice and rustic, and then I'm going to hot glue the concrete pieces at the bottom. I was worried that the hot glue wasn't going to hold the concrete, but they held very nicely and they're still on, so I was happy with that. And although these are simple to put together, they are the perfect display whenever you are wanting to kind of put plants or candles or pumpkins on and just add that extra touch of decor. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget, Ava's Manor is free to download using my link down below. Hit the thumbs up button. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy crafting. Bye.